Today, we are going to be doing a Wunda Chair workout with some hand weights. So this Wunda Chair workout is a full body chair workout. Should hopefully take us around 30 minutes if I planned appropriately. And what I have are two wrist weights, or I should say a set of wrist weights and a set of hand weights. Because for me, for my footwork, I like lighter hand weights than what I used for our bridging series, which I like a little bit of heavier hand weights. Choose what feels good and best to your body. Going heavier is not always better. We want to keep the intention, the integrity of our form. Our goal here with those hand weights are to work our shoulders, our chest, and not our neck. So if you feel your neck, ditch the weights, drop to something lighter, do what feels good and best to your body. I have a Gratz Wunda chair, so I will be choosing springs according to my Gratz chair, and I will also try to remember to guide you with the balanced body springs, which are the chairs that I use in my group classes. So even if you don't have a Gratz chair, no big deal. I'm also going to be telling you what to use with that balanced body springs. The Gratz chair I also find is similar to the Peak chair, which is also another brand that I am familiar with using. If you have a different piece of brand equipment than I do, let me know in the comments below so that I can, be inclusive to what you have at your home or in your studio, what you're using. If you're new to my channel, my name is Laura. I'm a certified personal trainer and Pilates instructor, and I like to try to bring workouts that are athletically fused to help you do what you love in life longer, so they keep in mind strength as well as the Pilates principles that I love from the traditional Pilates. So let's go ahead and get started with our hundreds on top of the chair. If on top of the chair doesn't serve you, you can also do this on the mat as well. I'm going to sit on that shorter end of the chair, coming with our hands to the side of the chair to help us descend. We lift the legs up to a tabletop position. Once we've got that tabletop position, hold on to your legs to try to curl yourself up a little bit higher. Once you've gotten in your C-curl position, you have that back flat along the mat. Press the legs out, take your hands by your side, and let's start with our hundreds. We inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In and out. As you pump from the back of your shoulders, see if you can keep that collarbone open, but still continue to roll yourself forward from those upper abdominals. Legs are squeezing together. You have your legs to your challenged point. So maybe you stay in a tabletop position or you return back to a tabletop if the straight legs is no longer serving you. We're going to be here for 2 more breaths. Last inhale. Last exhale. And hold. Curl up a little bit higher, stretch those fingertips a little bit more past you, squeeze those legs a little bit tighter. 3, 2, 1. Knees come into your chest, and then rock yourself up to a seated position. Once you rock yourself up, adjust your springs to your footwork springs. So I like a high and a low, and I do guide it on a 1 and a 3 on the balanced body in my group classes. I like a little bit lighter hand weight, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up my ballas, which are 2. And I like my wrist weights for this because I like to have my hand grip free. Just for me, energetically, that's what I find works best for my shoulders. All right, so I turn my chair so that you could see at a little bit of a better angle. You're gonna sit onto the mid part of your chair, taking your feet in a Pilates V, heels together, toes apart, sitting up on your butt bones, reaching your hands long by your side, opening up your chest, imagining that your back is up against a wall here. Start with your pedal up to your highest point. Maybe that means the springs don't close, and that's okay. And then I want you to press the pedal down, lift the hands up into a letter T, and then bring the pedal back up, and then take your hands back down. So it's a lateral raise. We inhale as you reach away, pull that stomach in, and then pull the stomach in more as your hands return back downwards towards the floor. We reach and lift, and then exhale, close. Heels stay together in this Pilates V. Knees are about 45. So they're not super wide. They're pointing to the wide corners of the room. And as I push the pedal down, I really think about trying to zipper my front of my torso into my back. And when I mean zipper, I mean I visualize the zipper of a jacket and all of those teeth trying to come together. So it's not just the belly button to spine action, it's across my entire front from pubic bone to sternum. We're gonna be here for 3. In 2, we're gonna hold the pedal down. And then the next time that the pedal comes down, hold it, knees in line with hips and the hands in line with the shoulders. Rotate your palms to face up, rotate the palms to face down. Rotate up, rotate down. So we're getting a little bit of shoulder mobility here. And as we're isolating those arms, your spine, your legs are staying still. We're gonna be here for 3. Last 2, you're feeling this in your shoulders, back of your armpits. Last 1, and palms down, hands return, legs return. Arches, bird on a perch, legs together, or hip width apart if that feels better to you. Hands are gonna come to the front side of your chair, still sitting up tall. We're gonna take the converse breath now. So now you're gonna exhale, push, hands come forward. Inhale, return back home. Exhale, push, squeeze your bottom, squeeze your legs, and then resist yourself back in. Now, as we've moved the arches, the temptation is to arch your back. I want you to remember that zipper, and maybe that zipper has gotten stuck at about your middle back. So you're really trying to pull that spot above your belly button a little bit more into that mid back to help you lengthen that tailbone a little bit more into a neutral. We're gonna be here for 2. On 1, we hold the hands forward, you hold your knees in front of your chest. Turn your palms to face up, and from here, we bicep curl. Curl in, extend long. Curl in, extend long. Trying to keep that pedal still. So I really, for me, have to concentrate on squeezing my inner thighs in. We've got 3, last 2. And then on 1, bring your hands forward, lift the pedal up. We're gonna take your toes, or your heels, now onto that pedal. Flex feet, inner thighs squeezing together, pressing the pedal down, or pressing through the heels, but keeping the pedal lifted. I want you to take your hands up and into that field goal position. And once you have your hands in that bicep curl position that we just got out of, you're gonna press the pedal down, open the elbows, find a field goal. And then once you have that field goal, bring the pedal back up and close together. Press the pedal, open, close the pedal, close the arms. Once again, trying to think about not arching the back as you open the arms and as you press the pedal down. So I find as I get closer towards my heels, it becomes a little bit more challenging to be seated on my butt bones here. I really have to concentrate on my pelvic stability and not letting myself roll forward in front of those butt bones and getting my pelvis to go into that arch anterior tilt. We're gonna be here for 2. We end with the hands open on 1. Once you're here, keep squeezing those legs, overhead press. Press up, resist down. Press up, resist down. I don't know if it's my light, but I'm already getting heated up here. I hope you guys are as well. We've got 3, last 2, and then on 1, return the pedal, return your hands. We're gonna take your toes now back onto the pedal. I like Pilates V, you might like parallel. Choose what works for you for tendon stretch. Press your pedal all the way to the floor, and as that pedal presses to the floor, I like to scoot my butt a little bit more forward towards that front edge. Open up your chest, lift your hands up to the sky. I like to interlace my hands and then bring my hands behind my head as my heel bones lower towards the floor. Heel bones lift, my hands lift. Heel bones lower, my hands lower. Exhale, shave, lift the heels. Inhale, lower. Now I'm trying to keep my pedal to the ground, which is a different sensation of calf work than when we are floating the pedal up, and we'll do that one as well. We're gonna be here for 2 more times. And then on 1, out goes the hands. Lift the pedal up slightly. For the second one, I like to do parallel. Once you have those parallel legs, heels, hips in line with the knees, hands go up to the sky, but when they bend, take them to the shoulder height. So your elbows are at a different angle now. You keep your knee bones, or you keep that pedal still as you lift the heel bones up and as you lower the heel bones down. Lift the heel bones up, lower the heel bones down. Lift the heel bones up, lower the heel bones down. I was checking my camera. Now, as you lift the heels, raise the hands. As you lower the heels, lower the hands. Lift and lift, lower, lower. So right now we're trying to keep that pedal still. Once again, a different variation to work your lower calves. We're gonna be here for 2 more times, and then I'm gonna show you 1 more. Keep your pedal where it is. Take your hands on top of your lap, and that's gonna now keep your thigh bone still. From here, press down on the pedal, pushing your heel bones lifted. And now flex your feet, allowing those heel bones to drop below the pedal. And all the while, I'm trying to imagine that there is a shelf on the front of my thighs. Your thigh bones stay still as you push the pedal away, and then resist back in. So 3 variations of doing your tendon stretch, of doing your calf raises and lowers. My favorite one is the one from the floor. You let me know which one you like best, which one helps you work your lower calf the most. We're gonna be here for 2 more times. And then after your last one, allow that pedal to come up all the way. And then once that pedal comes up all the way, I'm gonna keep my hand weights on because it's gonna make my weights a little bit heavier. And I'm gonna grab my heavier weights, take one of my springs off, so I'm left with just 1 high spring, 1 number 3 spring for me, 1 high spring for my Wunda chair. And then once I have 1 spring on, and then once I have that on, my highest level for my grots, number 3 for my balanced body, I'm gonna get situated for bridging from the floor. So for my bridging from the floor, I have 1 hand weight to either side of me. This is gonna stay with me as I go to lay down onto my back. And then once I'm laying down on my back, I'm trying to find a 90-degree angle through my knees with my heels connected onto the pedal. Once I have that position, elbows are gonna come wide. I want to roll my spine upwards towards the sky as I find a boxing position to the sky. And then I'm gonna roll my hips back downwards towards the mat as my elbows come down to the mat. Exhale, push and lift those hands upwards towards the ceiling, and then roll yourself on down. So now here we have our pedal all the way to the top, and we're not allowing it to move as we articulate our spine up and down. If you notice that you're getting some hamstring cramping going on, maybe you need a little bit more support. So you can either, if you're on a balanced body, take that 3 to a 4, or maybe you add that 1 spring back on. So you're on a 3 and a 1. Play around with it, see what works best for you. We are trying to strengthen your glutes and hamstrings, but we don't want them to be cramping on us. We're gonna be here for 3 more times. In 2, we're gonna hold our hips upwards towards the ceiling. And then the next time that our hips are up at the ceiling, I want you to hold it there. Hips up, arms up. Turn the palms to face inwards, and then we hug a tree. We inhale, take those hands down. Exhale, hug over our heart. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Keeping that tuck of the tailbone. Your pedal still staying in that lifted position. Low stomach, trying to stay pulled in for that posterior tilt. We're gonna be here for 3, working the chest as we hug the weights. Last 2. And then on 1, and with the hands to the sky, turn the palms to face your knees again, and then roll yourself on down. So for me, because I have 2 5-pound weights, I'm gonna move one of my hand weights to the floor, so I only have 1, and then I'm gonna straighten my legs so that they come on top of the chair. Holding on to my singular hand weight, I'm gonna go into my roll up here. So I'm gonna tuck my chin to your chest, roll up, reaching my hand weight towards my toes, and then I'm gonna roll myself on down. Hand weight stays over the chest as I roll down. And again, exhale, chin to chest, roll yourself forward, reaching your hand weight towards your toes, and then roll yourself on down. Now maybe that roll up is not for you. Ditch any hand weights. Tuck your chin to your chest. Use your hands to help you climb up your legs to your highest point. And then release the hands, slow, 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 return down for that eccentric control. Hands to the thighs, chin to your chest. Use that assistance of your legs to crawl yourself up. Release your hands at the top, and then roll, roll, roll yourself on down to get into position for basically a teaser prep. We're gonna go a few more times here. We've got 3. In 2, we're gonna hold the roll-up position. This is 2. And then because I know I don't want the hand weight in my hand for the next one, I put my hand weight down because I have those 2 pounds on my wrists. Roll yourself up to a seated position. From here, see if you can lift your hands to the sky and then lower it down. Even for me today, the 2 pounds are a little bit much. Lift the hands upwards towards the sky, lower it down. 2 more times. Lift up to the sky, lower it down. I lied. Now it's 2 more times because I wanted a total of 5. Lift, lower, 1 more time. Lift, lower, and then roll, roll, roll on down. Whew. Okay, we're gonna take those weights back into possession. Take your feet back onto the pedal. Push your pedal down, down to the ground, however you need to get it. So now we're gonna do bridging from the bottom. Your tailbone is still heavy here. Heels or arches are staying connected onto the ground. Narrow those elbows. And from here, with those narrow elbows, it's another boxing position, but we've got those wrists right over the elbows, shoulders open. It's almost like your tricep setup on your reformer. You're gonna lift your hips, reach your hands upwards towards the sky. And then as your hips come down, you're gonna bring your elbows to the ground. Elbows to ribs as you start, then press the hands up. You've got those hands over shoulders. Resist yourself back downwards towards the ground. Now here, we want to try to keep that pedal away from hopping off of the floor. That's going to help to keep our glutes a little bit more engaged. And we're still focusing on that articulating bridge to lift the hand weights up and to lower the hand weights down. To lift the pelvis up and then to lower the pelvis down. It's an exhale as you press. It's an inhale as you lower. It's an exhale as you press. And then an inhale as you lower. We're going to be here for 2 more times. On your last time, hold the hands up, hold your hips up. From here, it's a straight arm raise. So I like to connect my hand weights together. Hips stay lifted, arms go straight out and back behind you. Exhale, lift the hands upwards towards the ceiling. So this exercise is for your back and shoulder mobility. If you are not able to take your hands overhead for any reason, separate those hand weights. Give me skull crushers instead. So you've got options. This is an overhead lat raise. We're using the weight of the dumbbells to help stretch our shoulder capsule. You want to feel this on the underside of your shoulder, the armpit, back where, kind of where the teres minor and major are, and where your lats wrap around your rib cage, that underside armpit area. We're going to be here for 2 more times. Keep those hips lifted. And then the next time that the hands come up, hold the hands up, separate the hands. The hips come down, the hands come down. Allow that pedal to raise. Your hand weights will go to the side. Rock yourself up to a seated position. And then once we're up in the seated position, I want you to separate your feet so that they are wide to the sides of your chair. I'm going to take off my wrist weights. And then once you're done with your weights, we take our hands onto the top of the chair. We're going to go into a seated spine stretch variation. Relax the shoulders down your back. The variation I like to do is kind of like a seated version of a cat-cow. So you're going to press the pedal down, round the spine, flex the feet, pull it back. Inhale, sit up tall, point the toes, lift the chest bone to the sky. Exhale, stomach pulls in, round the spine, flex the feet. Inhale, restack the spine, lift the chest, point the toes. Now from here, I find a lot of people like to try to pull the chair with them. You're taking that spring energy down. So it's a lat pull down. Spring energy goes down towards the ground as your spine is what's caving backwards. And then as your spine starts to round backwards, it's almost like that horseback shape. So you don't want to get it from your mid back. You want to try to get it from your lower back, which when I checked out the camera, I was being a bad example for this first couple. We tend to be super mobile through that upper back. We want to use our lower belly to help us find a little bit more of that curve from your pelvis, curve from that lumbo spine. We're gonna be here for one more time. And then once you finish your last one, we're gonna come back up to a seated standing position. When we stand up, I like for standing pumping a high and a low on my Wunda chair, or a 3 on a 1 on the balanced body chairs when I teach it. Once you have your high and a low, or your 3 and a 1, we're gonna have those hand weights back into our hands. Your feet are gonna be about hip width apart, looking forward. This is a balance challenge exercise. Lift your right foot up on top of the pedal. We got big toe to pinky toe on, a little bit of a releve position. And then once you're in that releve position, open the palms to face forward for a supinated bicep curl, or you can have your palms facing in for a hammer curl. I'm gonna go for a hammer curl variation. As the pedal presses down, curl inwards towards your shoulders. As the pedal comes up, relax your hands down. Exhale, push the pedal down. Inhale, resist the pedal back up. Now, don't let the hand weights trip up the priority of this exercise. Like I mentioned, it's a single leg balance exercise, which means we're focusing on that pelvic stability. Your hip headlights are facing forward to the wall that's in front of you, and you're trying to keep your left hip over your heel bone. If that's not happening for you, ditch your hand weights because you're missing out on those glute gains. We're gonna be here for 3. In 2, we're gonna keep our hands forward. Next time, keep your hands up at your shoulders as you lift the pedal up. Now, I want you to reach your left hand forward as we pull the right elbow behind us like a bow and arrow, and then press the pedal down, push your hand forward. Pull the pedal up, pull the right elbow back behind you, twisted bow and arrow, and then press the hand forward as you push that pedal down. Still focusing on your balance. For me, that single arm staying forward is a little bit too heavy, so I'm gonna ditch that weight and just stay with 1. Pull and twist, keeping the hips forward. We rotate from that middle back. It's a wide row, so that elbow is staying high as you find that rotation to the side. We're gonna be here for 3 more times. Oh my gosh, almost lost my balance. In 2, we're gonna stay facing forward. Next time we finish off that row, meet me looking forward, allow the pedal to come up, the hand relaxes down. Okay, now coming into position for the next exercise, I want you to keep your hand weights on top of the chair. Hands go to the chair as you press the pedal down. And then as we go to step the left foot on top of the chair, we're gonna step it in line with the hip socket. So you've got left foot in line with hip, right foot in line with hip. Take the hand weights, one or both, into your hands if you want it for extra credit. Otherwise, you don't have to use it. I feel like the going up can be challenging on its own. Hands are staying long by your side, chest is open, stomach is in. It's your step ups. Slight shift of your weight to your left foot. Press through the left heel, and we're going up, up, up to the sky. I'm gonna rearrange my back toe because it wasn't on in my Goldilocks spot. And then we're gonna go down, down, down towards the ground. Exhale, presses you up towards the sky. Inhale, takes you down towards the ground. Controlling it in both directions here. As you come down, you wanna control the springs, don't just plop down. As you come up, think about trying to pull the heel bone towards your body, just like you would for bridges, to help pull you up and come up through the thigh and the glute. We're gonna be here for 3. In 2, we're just gonna go down to the ground. And then the next time that we come up, it's our last time. We control the way back down. Hand weights, come back to the chair. Take both of your hands to the chair. We slide that left foot to the pedal. Right foot comes down to the ground. Pedal comes up with control. Now we're in our second side for your legs. I hope you guys have your heart rate up because mine is definitely up. From here, left heel, releve, big toe to pinky toe on that pedal. Exhale, press the pedal down, curl in. Second side feels different because we just worked it for that going up. Try to connect into your glute. So it's gonna be really easy to try to make your thigh or even a little bit of a forward fold help you to press that pedal down. Think your heel lifts up towards your sit bone, and also that your sit bone is trying to squeeze in towards one another. And that's gonna help you to feel a little bit more through your glute. We're gonna be here for 2 more times. And then on our last one, keep your hands at your shoulders, allow that pedal to come up. Left elbow pulls back as the right hand reaches forward. Then press the pedal down, hand comes forward, pull the pedal back, you twist over your shoulder. For me, once again, that 5 pound is a little bit too heavy for that front raise, so I'm gonna let it go and deal with just one hand weight. And sometimes I kind of like that a little bit better because when you're offset loaded like this, it tends to work your core a little bit more. So we're already working the core because of the spiral rotation that we're adding in, but also because you have weight on one loaded side only. That's part of that anti-lateral flexion that's happening. We're gonna be here for 3. In 2, we're gonna meet back center. Next time after this pullback, you meet back center. Relax that hand weight onto the chair. Both hands go onto the chair as you press the pedal down. Now I'm just gonna scoop my weights over so that my right foot has space to go on top. Once you have that right foot on top, take the hand weights into your hands if that is for you. Lift the spine up, shoulders are back, slight forward lean. Your hand weights are about in line with that front foot. Once you're in this position, press through that front foot as you go to come up, and then resist through that front foot as you go to come down. Exhale, reach up. Inhale, take down. Now, tempo is everything. If you go too fast, you're riding those springs. We go up, up, and then down, down. Your back high heel stays lifted. We've got that connection, big toe to pinky toe. We've got 3. In 2, we make it back down to the floor. And then the next time that we come up, it's that last time. Resist yourself down, down to the ground, hand weights to the side, both hands to the chair. This time, right foot comes to the floor, left foot guides the pedal up. Oh boy, okay, time to cool down. I feel like I'm trying so hard not to breathe into the mic here for you guys. We're gonna go 1 spring on. For me, it's gonna be my high spring. I also do this on a number 3 for my balanced body group classes. Spring comes off, standing to the front of the chair. It's our cool down time. You're gonna stand about half a footprint away from that chair for your standing roll downs. Legs together. Take your hands up to the sky, big inhale. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, roll yourself down. Hands connect onto the black pedal, chin to your chest as you roll the pedal down. Make any adjustments that you need to. So I want those heel bones to be underneath your butt bones. Then inhale, we're gonna reach the pedal up. We'll disconnect today. Tuck the tailbone under, reach the arms up to the sky, big inhale. Exhale, chin to your chest, stomach pulls in, reach it back down, press the pedal down. Resist the pedal back up. Reach the hands upwards towards the sky. And then take the pedal back down again. Hands to the pedal, chin to chest, press down. One more time. open the hands up at the top. We're gonna walk around behind the chair. We go to the back side of the chair. You're gonna take your hand weights off into the side. And then as you're here, let's go ahead and take a pigeon position. So I'm gonna take my right leg over, find it like a figure 4, square off my hips to my chair. Hands are gonna come up to the sky. Now I want you to think of that roll down sensation in your stomach. Roll yourself back downwards towards your pedal. Now I'm not very flexible here, so you press your pedal as far as what feels good to you, and then round your spine up. You're gonna keep your pedal hands to the pedal. Press the pedal down, and then resist yourself back up. So hip mobility is still something I have been working on since my hip surgery. This is a lot better for me than it used to be. But just know that if you have tight hips, that's okay, so do I. But the more you work on it, the more open they're gonna be. If you ignore it, nothing's gonna happen with it. We've got one more time. Allow the pedal to come up. Take your hands onto the chair. I like to go on the short ends. We're going to square off our hips and allow that right leg to come into a flex position. Forward fold here, stomach is in. I like to round my spine. Technically, we should have a flat spine here, but I like to hang my head a little bit heavier, relaxing my shoulders, still getting that stretch at the back of the hamstring, flexing the foot. You can, if you would like to, also be in a flat back position. And then we're gonna step this right foot down to the floor. Right foot stays. Left foot is gonna come over, figure 4 position. Shin bone trying to get along the long edge, but for me, because my hips are so tight, my shin bone does come at an angle. From here, square off your hips, back toes are tucked under like they would be in a plank, and your knee is trying to get straight. If you have a tight hip flexor like I do, it's not gonna get straight, and that's okay. That's something we work on. Take your hands to the sky, transition in. Roll yourself down, connect your hands to your pedal. We're gonna press our pedal down as far as what feels good to you. It comes from your core, then resist your pedal back up. Round the spine, press the pedal down, and then flat back brings the pedal back up. So now you'll notice this side has a little bit more mobility for me. This is my non-surgical hip, so it is a little bit more open, a little bit not as much restricted. So it's okay if you have one side that behaves differently than the other. We all, even without an injury, have one side that's more dominant than the other. One side that might be a little bit more flexible than the other just because of what is our most dominant side. So just something to keep in mind. Maybe the side that does need a little bit more mobility, you just take a couple extra stretches there on your own time. We're gonna go one more time here. And then on your last one, take your hands to the short ends. We're gonna take that hamstring stretch. Left foot squares off, hips square off. Relax your head down. You do what feels good to you. Rounded spine or flat spine. For me, I feel the stretch the same in the backside of my legs. So I like to practice in a rounded spine. It's a little bit more like the tree shape, which I am trying to get better at. Next exhale, step the foot downwards towards the ground. Hang your hands heavy, hang that head kind of heavy. And then start to roll yourself up. Tailbone under, lower stomach. And we're up to a tall standing position. Once you are in your tall standing position, you are all set. You're all done for the day. I hope that you like that Wunda Chair workout with the hand weights, a little bit more of an athletic style workout. I love to give this for not just my athletes, but all of my active clients that I work with, especially if there's someone that is getting ready for a big hiking trip or getting ready for a big skiing trip. The unilateral stuff that we did, standing, pumping, and going up, so good for them. Then adding in the hand weights just adds a little bit more of an upper body and also balance focus to it as well, which I absolutely love. If you like this workout, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It lets me know that you want more workouts like this. The chair is a very popular one, so let me know if you have any other special requests, any exercises that you would love to see incorporated into a chair flow, or what kind of chair workout you would like to see in the future, because I will be putting more chair workouts on here since it seems like you guys really like them. If you're not already subscribed subscribed to my page, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so that we can stay connected and continue working out here together and getting stronger together. And I will see you guys in my next video. Have a good one.